Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, American Boy Collects American Girl. Got a little bit of a different unboxing for you today. It's not actually going to be American Girl. There's this Christmas village that I have actually collected for quite a while. It was like in the craft catalogs. I looked at it like through the pages. I just camp out in that main page of the village and just like look at it and just like take every detail in. It was like only typically it was only on one page, but yeah, it was just so much detail. And then they used to actually have it laid out like an actual village, whereas later they just sort of did them in rows. um Anywho, yeah, so I don't know if I said this before in the video I did the other day with Truly Me number 80 and that spring flower garden dress. But this was supposed to have been here at the same time, or if not before that outfit got here. So I guess there's been some changes made to the post office. Um, I guess I just implemented a new procedure 2 weeks ago that you now scan the actual shipping container that all the packages get shipped to your post office in. The only problem with that is that if your package didn't actually make it into that container, it's looking like it actually was at your post office, but until they scan each individual package and find out what's missing, your package may not actually be at your post office, but your tracking information may show that, oh yeah, it was at your local post office, but then all of a sudden it's showing up at a different post office. It came from Nevada, and then it was in Syracuse. Then all of a sudden it was at my post office, and that was what the seller was saying, like, hey, what's going on? It was at your post office, now it's back to Syracuse. And I'm like, then I went to Rochester again. I was like, well, this is really weird. So yeah, I guess, yeah. So that's the big thing now, is that if they scan and it's supposed to be in there, but somehow it didn't make it in there, then it's showing up on your tracking information that it's at your post office when it actually might not be. So yeah, that's a little bit frustrating. I guess there's a lot of changes they're coming out with, and for me, it's like one of my pet peeves that's like, okay, it's like trying to fix something that was not broken to begin with and was actually working perfectly fine, and now it's not working. I don't know. It's just maybe it's one of those road bumps until it gets smoothed out. I don't know. But I guess they're making a lot of things more automated. Like, say, for example, if you want your mail forwarded, it's like they're not actually, you have to actually show up at your post office with a photo ID to tell, to actually prove that it's you doing the forwarding now. But you also have to go down to the post office and in whatever the other state is you're going to be traveling into or staying in for a while, like say if you're a snowbird, and you only have one day to get that piece of mail to the post office to confirm that you requested your mail to be forwarded. And it's like, well, if the mail is a day late, then it's like that doesn't make any sense. And or, what if it gets to that location, to your forwarding address before you even get down to the place where you want your mail forwarded? I don't know. It just sounds like a whole nightmare, actually. And the other thing, too, is like, I guess America is behind the times in raising the postage. So if you've noticed, like every 6 months, the postage rates go up. Well, I guess that's going to be an indefinite thing. It's going to keep happening in the future till we get over $1 for postage. Because, like, I guess some point for a decade we got locked in and never had the prices raised, whereas a lot of other countries, their postage stamps are already over $1. So yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm not so crazy about this. And then you have issues where I guess it ended up in the wrong. Some of the packages that people are having end up at the wrong location, then they have to find out where it went, and I don't know. Again, it's just one of those things that feels like something. Okay, it's not broken, and yet you're trying to fix it. I don't know. And then the other thing too is like I was being told was that eventually, I think by either, I can't remember if it's the end of 2025 or by 2025, so like within the next year or so, they're going to have like the mail delivery people aren't going to have their mail delivered at each post office. They actually have to go to the major city, pick up the mail, and then bring it back to the post office. And I'm like, well, that's really going to stink for like the mail delivery people. Like if they were local to, if they didn't live far away from the post office they deliver the mail at, Now they gotta go, like, say for ours, they have to go all the way out of Syracuse, which is like a 45-minute to an hour drive one way to get the mail and then bring it back. I don't know if it's going to be already sorted at Syracuse or if they still have to sort it when they get back. So it's going to make the mail delivery kind of late, I think. I don't know how it's going to work. But that just really stinks for like the person who has to go get the mail and not have it delivered here, because now it's like, especially in the winter, like for the states or the places that have like really snowy winters, you have to risk your life doing like an hour drive one way to get the mail and bring it back. So it's not like you're not just risking your life to deliver the mail, but now you're actually, I don't know, it's a mess. I don't know. Anywho, so yeah, that was the whole little spiel on my frustrations with the post office right now. Hope I don't get in trouble for posting this, but anyway, we're gonna go with it. We'll see what happens. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if the lighting is still gonna flicker. I thought I'd try something different tonight and actually wear a what's it called? A skull cap. See if I was just curious if maybe the hat or the bald head was maybe causing it to autocorrect. Although I am seeing a slight flicker, but not as bad as I've seen before. So we will see. Maybe we'll have to get one of those ball caps and just have it flip so the visor's in the back. Anyway, back to this village. So yeah, like I was saying, like let me just show you an example. So this is an actual catalog from Mary Maxim. This is a craft company. They're still in business, but unfortunately, the company did the plaster village is no longer doing them anymore. Just a little brief history overview. It's the village I really like, and what this piece is from is a company called Accents Unlimited, and their specific plaster line was called Wheat Crafts. There was also a secondary one that was also really popular. They did a lot of stuff too. That one was called California Creations, and their crafts for kits were called Creative Crafts. But basically, it was a solid white building that was already precast in, I think it was called high density gypsum. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And so it would come with the paints, one standard paintbrush, the finished color photo, of what it's supposed to look like when it's done, at least of the front. You didn't get all sides, which they should have actually done all sides. But anyway, and then the detailed painting directions. And what was cool about the Wheat Crafts ones that I liked better than the California Creations was that they were very detailed. Like you weren't just painting, like say the wood slats on the building blue. You were painting it blue, then you're putting a watered down brown stain over it, so that was seeping into the cracks of like the wood, and then you go back with a dry brush and dry brush the blue back over the blue sections. But the thing was, the dry brush is only catching the top. So where the brown went into the cracks is still there. So it actually literally looked like um, weathered boards on a building. And sometimes they even have you go back in with like a white and dry brush, very slight bit of white. So it actually made it look like there was like some snow that got stuck to the boards too. So it's really, really a cool technique. Whereas the Creative Craft ones seem to be more that they just gave you a list of like, okay, they tell you this color, like white, and they'll tell you, oh, snow, siding of the house, or whatever. And it was like they really didn't give you details on how you were supposed to do it. I don't know. To me, it felt like the other ones were more detailed. The other thing I also loved about the Accents Unlimited Wheat Crafts versus the California Creations Creative Crafts was the fact that their buildings and trees looked a lot more realistic, especially the pine trees. The pine trees looked like actual pine trees. And then you paint it green and do like a lighter dry brush over it of a lighter green, and then you paint snow caps on the trees, and like they looked literally like a real pine tree out in winter in nature. Whereas the California Creations one, they always seemed to look more like you took heart shapes of dough and made the tree that way. If you kind of get my drift, or like maybe it was like pretzels or something. I mean, not without the holes, obviously, but more like the heart shapes. It was like they just didn't look real, and it was so frustrating. I think some of the other areas of the buildings did look a lot more real, but and it was kind of frustrating because like back in the day when they did them, you could get them in craft catalogs. You can get them in the stores like Michael's, and there was a local one we had called Rag Shop, and they sold them. And like back in that time, they were in a white box, and they had the picture was on the outside the box, professionally taken. They usually had the building that was going to be in that box featured with a dark blue background, and then like the fake snow, and it was already, I think it was also lit, so you kind of get the feel what it's going to look like when it's done, and you have it displayed. It was really cool, actually. And an interesting thing was that and in Mary Maxon, there's actually, I don't know if it was exclusive to Mary Maxon because I never saw these with the box picture on the outside for that time period. But there's actually some of the buildings have two paint variations. So like one is what I call rustic, which looks like more realistic to actual I don't want to say actual reality in real life. And the other was called what I'd call the pastel, where it seemed like had like lighter colors and not as not the deeper browns and reds and stuff like you would see in actual real life. So I call one of them rustic, and I call the other one pastel. And I pulled out some of my old catalogs just so I could show you them, and I'll show you them in a minute. But yeah, so it was like everywhere. So I think the pastel was exclusive to Mary Maxon for a while, and then they got away from it. And I think for a long time, I think Mary Maxon was exclusive. There might have been some other online sites, but then you really didn't see them so much in the stores anymore. And then I noticed like the kit boxes started being this like dark tan color, um, like a golden tan color, and the picture was now printed, and it was in with the directions in with the paint bag, the bag of the paint pots. And it wasn't, it was just like basically they just took the picture, and I don't even know if it was lit up anymore. It might have been still lit up, but they really didn't have it like in the backdrop with the blue backdrop and the snow anymore. So it was actually, I don't know, they didn't have it like displayed like they used to, so it was kind of frustrating. But yeah, so like I was saying, like, so this is one of the Mary Maxon catalogs, and I'm just gonna see. And just to give you the heads up too, they didn't just have the Christmas Village. They had like stuff for every holiday. Like here's an example of some of the Easter pieces that you could have got from them. And it's like those, and they had Christmas stuff, and they had yeah, better not show the back as of her dress. I just remembered that. But they had like they had Christmas, they had Halloween, they had Thanksgiving, they had Easter. I don't know if they did Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. But they have like a lot of the major holidays, and it wasn't just a village. They had centerpieces and like statues, and they had like a collection of all the different countries' Santa Clauses, and they had like ornaments. I know they had mini ornaments for Halloween, Easter, and Christmas, and I think mostly it was just Christmas for the regular ornaments. I can't remember. Or they may have had smaller figures. Usually, if I wasn't talking, I probably could find this a little bit quicker. Yeah, and here's some of the examples of some of the other stuff they had for Christmas. Like the different ornaments and figures and stuff. Some of them, sometimes they did do other stuff from California Creations, and it wasn't all just exclusively, but most of it was the We Crafts Accents Unlimited collection. So like this is one of the pages that I'm going to show you that was probably one of the ones I looked at the most. Let me sort of move this out of the way so I can zoom this in. All right, so there's the top. And in this, actually showing you, this particular page, move this over here, actually has some of the pieces that would be classified as rustic and pastel that were sort of intertwined for a while. So not only was there two variations of the paints, actually let me show you that picture real quick. So should have had these open, sorry. Didn't think about that at the time. So this, I'm gonna get the other one ready too. All right, so this one I'm going to show you first. This is an example of the pastel village. So you're going to actually see some of these buildings repeated in the next catalog page. But like the church, it had like a lighter tan roof, and it had a lot of blue accents. And like a lot of these you're seeing like rust and grays, like light grays and like rusts and light tans. So that's what the pastel looked like. And also notice the bridge was red, more red. And it had like blue water underneath it, whereas when it flips to this one, so this is the rustic version, so that's the same church, that's the same bridge, but now it's got more like iced over instead of it being water. And then yeah, a lot of these other ones are darker. So yeah, it's kind of fun. But then there's also sometimes they redid the piece all together, and so they may have had variations. It was like the same building, but they came out with different designs. So for example, let me just grab this one I showed you first. So this one right here, this is called the Lamppost shop. Let me see if I can find out what it actually said. Where is it? Number or letter F? No, not F. Where did I just see it? H. Lamppost Limited. That was the name of that one piece right here. Right here. That one. But then they did a whole total repaint of it, and it was actually some of the parts of it was recast, and it was called the Blacksmith shop. Then the one I just got is actually the last version of it, where they went back to almost the same original paint scheme, but they labeled it as a lumberyard. So this one building has been a lamppost shop, a blacksmith, and a lumberyard. The thing I loved about this one was that I loved the building itself, but I thought it was kind of cool that they had an entire, I don't want to say, building just devoted to a place where they made lamp posts. So I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, so again, then they also had, as you can see, there was figures and a whole bunch of other stuff. But toward the end, they didn't do so much with the figures, but yeah, so I just wanted to show those so you can get an idea of what that was all about. Let me get rid of these. But yeah, so this one is the lumberyard. So it's the third version. The other thing that was a little negative, because that one of the reasons Mary Maxim stopped carrying them. Let me just give you the year frame. I think it was from around the late 1980s. So it's probably around this time, same time American Girl began. Because I think I have catalogs for, I know I have 87, 88, and 89, I think. I don't know if I have before that. So I don't think, so maybe in like a year or two after American Girl. So it's either 87 or 88. I think it was 87. But then it went to like, it was almost for 2 decades they were out, at least with the Village anyway, because at some point I think they got rid of all the other stuff and it was just the Village, and I think it was exclusive toward the end, more toward just Mary Maxim and maybe one other online site, but yeah, it was like pretty much could only get through Mary Maxim. And what was I saying? And then it was like toward the end though, the quality was really bad. Like, you know, they were really good about cutting out the windows really perfectly for the light to come through. And toward the end it was kind of crappy. Like you could see where it's kind of jagged, and it wasn't even like they were missing part of the windowsill, and it was really bad. And even the quality of the gypsum was more like plaster of Paris instead. And it's like if you like your nail rubbed against it, almost flake off some of it, and it was really bad. And well, the quality was just so bad that they were like, we can't carry these anymore. So they sold out what they had left, but they didn't do any more of them. And I don't think after that they did anymore, because I never have seen them anywhere since then, which is kind of really sad. It's like I feel like it was like the 90s, especially maybe early 2000s, that these were really, especially the 90s, these were really popular things. Like there were so many different stuff you could get. And then it's just like it's kind of just fizzled out. It's kind of sad because I mean they do still have some stuff you might see somewhere, but I don't think California Creations is even in existence anymore either. So anyway, enough about that. So yeah, but yeah, they really got crappy toward the end. So first time opening this, so we'll see what we got here. Let me just take that tape all the way off. All right, is there another piece of tape somewhere? Oh yeah, right here. So originally I wasn't really sure if I really wanted the last versions of things, because like the ski and skate shop became the Village News, and then it became the hospital. The clock shop became the hotel. Okay, she's got mark over it. This lady, I tell you, she's so nice. She was like, she had so many pieces, there was no way I could buy them all at once. So it went way too, probably over $1,000. But she was so nice that she like kept holding these. I mean, I've been buying her for probably close to a decade. I'm not sure even now how. But then like seemed like things just kept coming up. Like one point she was moving, so she couldn't sell anything for like maybe 6 months or so. And then it was like just one thing after the other. And then last year I got obsessed with American Girl, so I kind of kept forgetting to get my Village piece. So I'm trying this year to finish it off, even though I'm trying to get out of debt. Trying to at least get one a month, just so that way I'm true to getting these all purchased. And it was kind of funny, like when I first got into this, even when they were getting rid of them, you know, going secondhand, you really only could find the kits. And I got so many of the kits, but the problem was when I started doing the painting. At first, I didn't know how to do dry brushing. I mean, the stain made sense, but I didn't really get the concept. So there was a painter at my church that was kind of helping me know, okay, this is what it means. This is how you do it. So finally, I figured it out. But the problem was it's so time consuming. And then if you accidentally move the brush and it hits the other color, and it's like, maybe I was a little overkill, but it's like, oh, then you have to redo that section. Anyway, so that was kind of a little bit too stressful for me. So I think the skating pond is the only piece that I almost completely finished. I think I just had to finish off the skater's figure and then put the snow caps on the trees and then glaze it and then do the glitter on the snow. Some people put the glitter on the snow, some people don't, but that's an option that makes it look more realistic. So yeah, so this is my first time seeing this. So yeah, this is, I think, pretty much, should have left that open. Let me just grab the bigger catalog and see just wanted to see real quick that page so you can compare it with the Lamppost shop. Okay, so this, again, I don't have the actual picture. Probably should have grabbed the catalog that was more recent. Hold that thought. Okay, so yeah, I did look up the old cat. This is like one of the last catalogs before they discontinued it. This was actually like one of the last pieces they brought back. The only reason I'm looking it up was because if you look at the Lamppost shop here, you'll notice the roof is tan. And I just wanted to double check, and yes, this is actually, so they actually changed the roof. They didn't paint it. So that's the other thing I've been noticing too. I didn't finish saying this, that, when I first started collecting, all I could really find was the kits. So I got a lot of the retired kits, so the paint might not still be good, but at least I got the building. But then the thing I was noticing, then all of a sudden everybody's starting to sell the painted ones. So it's like almost like all these people are getting rid of their collection, or maybe their parents or whatever that painted them have died off, and now the kids are getting rid of the stuff. I don't know what's going on, but there's like, now you can find so many of them on right now. I think there's certain ones that are harder to find. This is probably one of the harder ones to find, so I'm glad I was able to get this now. So now I have all three versions. I had wanted to do a video where could show you all three versions, but I can't remember which location. I have them like in 6 locations, so I couldn't remember where I put it. Anyway, the Blacksmith and the Lamppost shop. But yeah, so here's like a shot of like the last set of buildings. And again, they brought the church with the steeple back. That was kind of cool. But they redesigned some of them. Like this coffee shop used to be an antique store. The doctor and dentist used to be the floral shop. This is the hotel as mentioned. That was originally the clock shop. This is what they call the feed and grain, but that used to be the maple sugar factory. So yeah, it's kind of funny. And then some of these other ones, like, they were original, and they brought the tree. Some of them they brought back. They brought back some of the bigger accessories, like the snowman building contest, but they didn't bring back the actual figures. I don't think it was in here. Because, like, they also had, like some of the figures they had was, like, oh, actually, they are right here. Up in this top corner. Oops. I'm not far enough back there. I don't know if you can see it. There's an ice wagon, fire wagon, dairy wagon. They brought back the wagon sets, but they didn't actually bring back the little figures that went with them because they were originally 3-piece sets. Anyway, I'm rambling too much. This is already over 20 minutes. All right, but yeah, this is the... Okay, she just stuffed some stuff in here. Yeah, she's really good about that. She'll stuff stuff up inside it. Let me just take that out though. So yeah, so that's what it looks like underneath. So basically what would happen is, so there's like a notch right here. That's for the cord to go under. And then you'd have this like sort of a ceramic ring that you'd put the light bulb part up through. And then you'd screw the light bulb into the socket. And so that's how they'd hold it up, or how the light bulb would hold up. So that way it wouldn't fall over kind of thing. I have noticed that the more modern ones they have for Christmas villages that have the little silver metal clip thing on, they can kind of stand up on their own, so they don't really need the metal ring. But yeah, this is the lumberyard. And what I was looking at was the roof isn't supposed to be brown. It's supposed to be that like sort of yellow tan color. So this person actually ad-libbed the painting instructions. They didn't do it to the actual one. So it's actually kind of cool. So it actually makes it a little bit more unique than like the original Lamppost shop that I have. I think it was originally painted as the directions are supposed to be. So this will actually make it more unique. So it doesn't look exactly identical, but the piece itself is pretty much identical. Because like on The lumberyard, they actually see, like on this one they actually kept the lamppost, which doesn't make really much sense for it being a lumberyard, unless they just thought that was like some wood or something. I don't know, but the lamppost is part of the original lamppost shop. But whereas for the blacksmith, they got rid of that and they had like a couple horseshoes on the sides of the big door. I don't remember what else was changed. I think I know the sign was changed, and then they just did a whole different painting to the hall piece in different colors. Now this one, okay, I don't know if you can catch it. Yeah, it's sort of got, it does have a little bit of glitter in the snow. I don't know what they did for it though, because it doesn't feel like the way some of them look. Although it does look pretty cool. The only negative about some of these pieces is that the white areas sometimes yellow over time. So, and I could see a little bit of that. And also if you get some of the glitter likes the yellow too. So I don't know what's up with that. And then sometimes, you know, right there you can see where in the snow they got some of the red, so they didn't actually get that painted perfectly. But this is actually painted really good, and if you can see on the bricks, you can sort of see where the brown stain went into the grooves, and then they redid the gray over it. And like how they made it for the wood doors there. It's just really cool, I think. And that's a really good shot too. I just noticed. All right, let me just let me give you the size. And this is what I was talking about, like the trees. Look at how detailed that pine tree is, and it just looks so realistic. Even the bricks look so realistic. And I'll show you the roof after I do the full side version. So that's one side, and this is the back. And again, there's that notch I was telling you about where the cord goes. So this is the back side. And I think some of the, I think this is like a lighter green. I think some of the trees were actually a little bit darker green, and then they did a lighter green over it. But anyway, but that's, you know, that's the back, and then here's the other side. And I don't know if you notice right here, they got a pile of logs. So I just noticed that here. Oh, no, they also have a couple more lampposts. So I don't know why they kept the lamppost in it for this piece. Maybe they thought that, oh, maybe it made it look like they were there for scrap wood or something. I don't know. Anyway, and then on the top, so I mean, look at the detailing in the shingles on the building, and then they have like a metal roof on this part. It's red, but again, this is supposed to be more tan. But yeah, but I think it's cool if they did it different, and this is actually really good. This is not actually my first video I made for this. I did the bakery in Cobblestone Cottage, I think last month, but I never got around to uploading it, so I don't know if I'll get that or not. I gotta look at it again. I think I did some of the history of this in that video also, but I didn't have the catalog pages out at that time. And actually, since trying to find the blacksmith and the lamppost shop, I honestly really want to. Maybe I'll just, as I talk, I'll just throw a little bit of holding there so you can admire the sides. Now this side you can really see the roof too. But I just really want, I was thinking like going through the catalogs and introducing you to the entire collection, because there's like over 100 kits, I think, just for this one village alone, not including everything else they did. They probably had close to 1,000, because I mean, there was so many different things they had for all the holidays, for Halloween and Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. And then they had regular everyday stuff like that could be like they had, I think they had endangered species that you could paint for whatever was endangered at that time, obviously. And then, where was I going with that? But then I was like thinking, oh, it'd be kind of cool. Like, so I'd start off with the 1980s catalogs and I'd just show you the pieces. And like, of course, I got to find them all again. But yeah. So yeah. And like the first batch that I got of these that weren't actually painted as great. So I think I finally 98% got them all replaced with better quality, or from people that painted them in better quality. Um, So yeah, I definitely got to go through, like my American Girl stuff that I have doubles of from last year. I also got to go through all my doubles of the village and figure out, okay, what am I keeping? What am I selling? I really don't think I need to have all the kits anymore, because I know for a fact now that I have them painted from somebody else, I really probably will never finish. I probably definitely keep the skating pond, because that's the only one I ever got close to being finished. But yeah, it would be nice to actually finish it. But yeah, so this is my little village. But I was also thinking one other thing too. I was thinking um, I'd like to do like a thing where I do this piece with the other two variations of it, with the lumberyard, the village, or not, the lumberyard, the lamppost shop, and the blacksmith, and show you how the variations of the three different pieces, also, you know, without the catalog pages. Um, but yeah, so that was my thought. And the other thing too is like I was trying to look up pictures online. I'm like, there isn't as much of the village I've noticed online like there used to be. So I'm like, I'm almost like wanting to do like a documentary, like I don't know if like a website, I don't know, something where I like just take pictures of all the sides and then scan in all the catalog pages and I don't know, just something really cool. I just love this village and I like to have it documented. And it was kind of frustrating. There was a person that had everything documented, like actual pictures, the box pictures, the painting directions. And then I guess Comcast did something where they're bought out by Xfinity or something. And then all those websites went away. And it's like, and I was so mad at myself for not saving all the pictures because I wanted to make up this list and I got a little distracted by that. So, anywho, but anyway, this is the lumber yard, or I guess it calls it lumber company. I think they just call it lumber yard in the catalog. Let me see. Where is it here? Okay. Yeah, they just call it the lumberyard. So yeah, so I think I got like 3 or 4 more pieces still to get from her. But then she's also like last Christmas, she had her 2 daughters go through all the ones she's painted herself, and her daughters have decided which ones they want to keep, which ones they don't want. So I guess she's gonna go through and get rid of some more. So now I found out she's got like I think 6 more pieces that I need to get. So that I'm missing. And then some of them, like one lot she got the snow was all yellowed and anything white was yellowed, so it was like I got a few of those. Some now she has a couple of the pieces again where it's in better condition, so I really want to get those and replace them. I might paint the snow white at least so it looks a little nicer for anybody else getting it. But yeah, so this is one of my other collections, and this is one of my favorite pieces of the collection. And I like how it's mostly almost identical to the Lamppost shop, just the roof they painted different. So that makes it a little bit more unique to my collection, that they won't be identical. But yeah, so let me know what you think about my Christmas village pieces. If you'd like to see more of these, or maybe the entire village, if I ever get it organized and together. But I would like to show it through the years as they came out in the catalog, so I could like do like, okay, this is what was new for this year. Like for this year with this piece, because I just got it here. I just found it. It was like a 2005 catalog. The new ones for that year was the redo of the Maple Sugar Factory as the Feed and Grain, the redo of the Antique Store as the Coffee Shop, the redo of this piece from the Lamppost Shop to the Lumberyard. They also had redone. This is when they also redid the Floral Shop as the Doctor and Dentist Shop. They redid the Clock Shop as the Hotel. And they redid, what was this called? Let's see, They redid, I think it was called the Thatched Cottage. Don't quote me on that. No, maybe that wasn't that one. I don't remember what that one was called off the top of my head. But it was actually from a different village collection, but they brought it back into the regular village and they call it the Cobbler Shop. So yeah. So yeah, that's my village, and it was kind of fun. Like, if you notice in this page that they have an accessory set that's actual accessories, and they've always had the lighted lampposts. And I guess this village is supposed to be more set like either colonial or Victorians, because they have colonial house, they have a Victorian house. Yeah, so yeah, that's my village. And there's like, again, there's like 100 pieces to this one village. I don't know how many I've gotten. I don't have a lot of the pastel versions, but I do have most of I think a lot of the rustic versions. Anyway, this video went way longer than I meant it to, and it's like literally almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Definitely gotta get bed. Gotta go to work tomorrow. All right. Anyway, you know how to like and subscribe. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. But this is the lumberyard. So yeah, I'll see you next time. You guys have a great day, and Merry Christmas.